Lord Zsinj. Cataclysmic news just in that our Supreme Emperor Palpatine aboard his Death Star Mark II has been killed and neutralised with that Death Star by the rebel scum above the moon of Endor. While this news is, of course, difficult to digest, my lord, what is perhaps more worrying is the swiftness with which the other Moffs and Imperial Scepter commanders have declared their independence from the now scattered Imperial remnant. Might I also suggest, Lord Zsinj, that you swiftly declare your independence from the Imperial remnant and declare yourself the Supreme Emperor of the Galaxy, my lord. This would allow you to clear up the Mandalorian pirates and integrate them as such, my lord, and bolster your own defences around Rancor base of Dathomir. Furthermore, you should strike headfirst towards that traitor Truton Teraduk, now declaring himself the commander of the Greater Maldrood, my lord. But once you do that, you'll have an excellent base of operations, and fan-dabby-dozy, it's party time. Long live Lord Zsinj. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Star Wars Empire at War as Zsinj's Empire in the very newly updated Thrawn's Revenge mod. Very grateful to the modding team, as they always do a fantastic job. We'll go into the finer details as we come across them with this mod, of course. But this is a bit of a redux for those who may just be tuning in, or even maybe trying to continue with this series. We've started over once again, and we're now joining in the Battle of Suric 4, whereby the Imperial Remnant is very close to us, of course bordering us directly now. And therefore, we're going to try and compete with some Imperial Legitimacy here by taking this capital tier shipyard immediately. We do already, of course, control Rancor base, which does act as a Dreadnought tier shipyard. But as we completely ransack the shields and therefore open the way for our bombs to completely rampage across the enemy's hull on this Victory Star Destroyer, will prove that we need this extra capital tier shipyard to further our plans and therefore our grasp on the galaxy. Let's attack move forwards, as we're no longer in range of any major enemy ships. We do have a few IPVs over here and a Carrack. The IPVs will prove a bother to our smaller starfighters and bombers, so pull out our bombers at least, get some room. It looks like we have removed those IPVs, apart from this one here, which we will chase down. Lovely stuff. Let's pull back a tad, just to give our fighters some reprieve and a little bit of cooldown for their weapons as we come in range now with our victories and our Imperial Star Destroyers onto this Precursor Star Destroyer. So I've been enjoying these Precursors in private Pentastar alignments playthrough of my own recently. Had to say goodbye to that as well, as the update does, of course, remove the ability to use previous saves. A bit sad, but all for the best, as, like I said, the modding team does an amazing job. This really is a top tier mod for this game, and it really does keep the game alive. I would not be playing this so frequently if it weren't for mods like this. I've been playing since its release in 2006. It was mind-boggling then to play such an amazing strategy game. I honestly don't think, even in today's standards, there's anything quite like this game about in the market. There really needs to be a contender. If you're a Star Wars fan or not, this game really does bring something to strategic and tactical levels, which other games really don't contend with on this sort of scale. There's, I think the closest would be something like Distant Worlds or Knights of Honor, but they bring their own flavour, especially Distant Worlds. It comes more on the strategic level. But enough of that. bit of waffle. That's okay. Like a bit of waffle, especially in the morning, and a bit of caramel. So, let's get on. Let's get focused once again. Thank you to everyone who has rejoined this series. This is going to be absolutely amazing. Once again, to outline our ultimate goals, we're going to create the Dark Empire with Warlord Zsinj here. That will be our first and initial final goal for the series. We will see about getting a true victory though, because we are now playing on the known galaxy large. Previously we were playing on known galaxy medium, and this is currently one of the larger maps available, if not the largest map available in this mod. This does not of course include the Chiss Ascendancy or Empire of the Hand as sub-factions, but in terms of planets available, this is again probably the largest out there at the moment. So taking all planets will absolutely be a massive time sink, but even taking all capital and dreadnought tier shipyards will of course be rather a task in itself. So as we deal with these stations here, we'll mull us over and think about those ultimate goals. And there we go, easy victory over the orbital space of Suric 4. So welcome back everyone to the strategic overlay of Star Wars Empire at War, as of course Zsinj's Empire with the Thrawn's Revenge mod. So you can already see, quite likely, for those practiced among you with this mod, that we are of course playing on a larger map. We have access to Taris, and I absolutely love Taris. It's an amazing production and income generator there. We are taxing it to begin with, of course. We do have 2 more ground slots available. I'm very tempted to put 2 advanced vehicle factories there. We do, with this update, have actually another vehicle as Lord Zsinj to requisition and construct with a, let's see if we can find it. Let's see if we can find it. There we go. The advanced vehicle factory. We have not only the fantastic A9 floating fortress, which should be a staple in your Zsinj army, but we also have the tracked shield disabler company, which comes with of course 2 of these vehicles with a fair bit of hit points each, but they also have 2 ion cannons each. Now ion cannons of course do have effectiveness against enemy vehicles, so they will take them down, as well as enemy droids, which will come in very useful against the CSA there. But primarily they do destroy enemy shields very quickly, which is something the New Republic and their rebel scum have in all abundance. So we can certainly make good use of that, and it really incentivizes a Zsinj player to get as many of these advanced vehicle factories as they can, in equivalence with all of their other factories, of course, because they do bring some very integral parts of a Zsinj roster together. I do agree with this change very much. The simple single vehicle from the advanced factory, while it was a very good vehicle, just getting the one vehicle out of such an expensive and late tier factory, it's questionable, very questionable indeed. So we're going to take Suric 4 very soon. We do have a ground force assembling largely of skimmers and infantry, and that's absolutely fine because we have scouted out this base, and while they do have a heavy factory in the Moth Palace to provide some sort of armour support, otherwise they do only have an ATST Walker Company and some scout troopers. We can certainly take that on with our ULAVs and Raptors, which we will be making in abundance. We do also have a new hero in Radaf Netbers, who's a very simple commando who does provide some tier 5, the bottom tier command on land, and we can't be complaining too much about that because I have said previously that Zsinj's land heroes don't provide too much actual combat bonus. So what we're doing with our hut hero over here, we want to create something on Yavin 4, don't we? And I think we do already have the trade port to actually produce some source of basic income out of Yavin 4, which has pushed our net income to 6.4 thousand, which is absolutely monstrous at this stage of the game. Usually you start around, let's say, between 2.5 to 5,000 income if you're very lucky. So we're scouting around the Pentastar alignment, which do also have a few more planets over here. We're looking for that tank battle cruiser, which does activate at cycle 3 when we're on number 4. So that'll be apparent very soon. We're going to go for the very same strategies we did previously on Auxilia by forcing some heavy vehicles out there. 2 heavy vehicle factories, 2 advanced vehicle factories, and indeed a labour camp to really push that time as quickly as possible. We need to find a space station. I think the Ferrier Junction will be our pirate base for now. So let's bring our hut here over here. We can make that. We can bring over our Lang forces to Suric, replace the space station at the Ferrier Junction, and we will continue with this land invasion over Suric. So it's a very open map actually on Suric, and we are rather limited on our forces here, so we're going to have to be extra careful careful here. We're going to need to make good use out of our camps over here, our military field bases. Let's fast forward while we bring in our reinforcements, and I think really we're not going to spread out too much, are we? There's no need to. There's really no need to spread out too much. It needs to be a concentrated force. So we're going to come down to this sector of the map, and we're going to go to this particular command post, but also just take 1 unit of our standard army officers and try and take, if I can get the correct positioning, there we go, to take this abandoned factory over here for even more reinforcements. Struggling with the pathing over here, it's absolutely not a problem. There's a bit of a hill here, it's a little bit difficult to read, but we're going to try and take the build pad over here. We might turn that into a repair station. While our ULAVs do have shields, our standard repulsor scouts do not. Repulsor scouts absolutely amazing for destroying enemy infantry there. And of course our Raptors do work wonders as well in that regard. But they do need to be protected, of course. Oh, we get T4Bs. Well, T4As actually, which are... they conduct the same role as T4Bs, but not quite so concentrated in either department. They do have a AV blaster cannon. I believe T4B is a heavy AV blaster cannon, but this is very much needed in our current roster. We don't have as much stand-up anti-vehicle weaponry here. We're just going to move over here to see if there's any build pads. But otherwise, I think we push immediately down to the southern command posts over here for an extra 5 pop cap. Not that it really matters. We're currently at 10 out of 10. We see 0. Ah, there's one. There's one. We see 1 build pad there. We hear some new voice lines, actually. That's really nice for the Raptors. Oh, what do we see? What do we see? That's some scouts and the Firehawks. Okay, we can't stand up to that. Not a problem. We'll build an anti-vehicle post here. What do we see down here? Need to do that. Okay, yeah. Get on the chariot there. We really need these T4s over here because that Firehawk actually does have some excellent hit points there. Overclock the anti-vehicle weapons on the ULAVs, please. Focus these stormtroopers with our infantry and our own scouts. Obstructed by the hill over here. Do deal with the Firehawk, which is absolutely brilliant. Because they do only have the 1 squadron of those. Okay, let's bring these speeders over a little better because they're being hindered by the slowest moving unit, which is our infantry, I believe. That's excellent. So we dealt with that, okay. We do have a sensor array over here, but that's, to be honest, fairly useless in a push. We can pretty much guess what's behind us. This particular position doesn't provide much use. I believe it could only scout around this area at a particular limit. We will create now a support base and we'll bring over our Raptors from here. That's absolutely fine. I was toying with the idea of bringing some reinforcements in this area after seeing that battle group. But, you know, some ULAVs would go awry. Would go awry. And you know what? They did pretty damn well here as well. We get some snow speeders out. Exactly, yeah, they're just 1v1 light AI. That's interesting. So they're a little better against vehicles. Let's scout ahead to the enemy base. We do see some stormtroopers coming there. And actually we do see another Firehawk and an anti-infantry gun there. Let's tickle the Firehawk. Let's tickle the Firehawk there. Do miss. Does clearly have some rather horrible accuracy there. That's okay. What we can do is push him with our vehicles. The T4As will do wonders actually against that turret. We know because we are a CSA player that actually standard straight up strafing runs will work best, but clearly the Firehawks do have some good AA capabilities and they're going to ruin those speeders. That's absolutely fine, we got them for free. We'll bring this single one though over to the repair station. It doesn't work, but we do have access to our bombardment. And we're going to use that onto the heavy factory to reduce the amount of Firehawks and such they have out of there, and that's excellent. Let's bring the ULAVs over here, and we're struggling with pathing a tad. That's okay, we'll just bring that over here. What do we see happening here now? We do see a little bit of a scuffle. Not a problem at all. We do see some stormtroopers over here. That's okay. Seems to be standard shock platoon with just some blasters. Our ULAVs can deal with that absolutely fine. We do see some walkers here finally though. So we get the T4As over onto that walker and the Firehawk actually. So bring the ULAVs over. Because they do have, if you look at them, 1AV, they're a little bit better against infantry. That's okay. And certainly in a large group like this, pile on the damage, they can chase that Firehawk down. You see a speeder there. Needs to be a tiny bit careful. Work that down, pull back, work to their advantage and pull in the scouts to deal with the enemy infantry. It's all good. Look at that. You love to see it. Unshielded, so we will lose one here. That's absolutely not a problem. Don't mind that. Really don't mind that. I don't generally get a lot of use out of these scouts, so I'm not too worried about that, to be honest. I generally prefer ULAVs, SPMATs, of course, as Zsinj. God, use SPMATs as Zsinj. They're such great utility. Do see the end of that anti-infantry turret though, so we'll just get rid of this last unit. We're struggling with terrain again, so pull up the rear. Do see a rocket there, which is now dealt with. Now we see some more infantry here. Lovely. Throw a grenade, but we're not open top. That's for the Steel Division players out there. There we go. Lovely. Lovely. This would be quite an easy walkthrough to the rest of the enemy base. Although we do see some Firehawk and what they called lavas. Yeah, the chariots. Bring the T4s over, thank you very much. And actually just bring this group of ULAVs over as well. There we go. We actually did lose a repulsor scout company there, so a little bit of missed micro towards the end as we got overconfident, but that's absolutely not a problem. Even at this stage of the game, we're a little bit limited on credits. So Suric 4 is a massive prize for a couple of reasons. Of course, it's a capital tier shipyard, so we can produce ISDs. We'll see about Serannans. I doubt that's the case because they are battle cruisers, but ISDs are always absolutely brilliant. Can't say no to those. And of course, that is a planet away from the Imperial Remnant, which does mean we are directly competing for that Imperial legitimacy, and that absolutely does add up. So we'll bring that up, make sure we garrison everything. Once again, we're going to use Solaris as a buffer planet. I don't mind losing that in the short term. So that's absolutely fine. In the long term, we will be fighting back for that. That's absolutely fine. Don't mind losing that very quickly, if that makes sense there. We do have, I thought I was making some SPMATs somewhere. Where do I see those two? We find them on, I think, Vyun or Vjun. I'm going to say Vyun. It just seems a little better. We're going to get some ACPTs out, as well as these amazing Imperial dropships. Absolutely love dropships. They will pull a lot of weight for us. Can we get back to... I want to make my way to Wayland now. So I think we're going to go through Mirka to get to Wayland to produce very cheap infantry and ship crews, because we're quite gated at the moment at just 10 ship crews per cycle, and that's just not good enough, to be honest. We do see a 3.2 thousand on discount. I forget what the difference is between these two here. 20% to 20%, that's not going to make any difference there. So we'll keep Zsinj there for now as we go over to Taris to make use of our hut administrator. We will be making an effort very soon to go to Centauri's. Where is that now? Do we not see Centauri's? There it is. I'm just looking in the wrong place. Of course, the capital of one of the major factions is over here. We'll get our Ambroselite administrator out there at that point. We have a couple spaces spare over here on Taris. What's the base income here? 300. You know, I actually, weirdly prefer income over working time. So we're not going to get a labour camp over here. We're just going to build more. So I want heavy factory and... what is our current tax level? 5. That's very interesting indeed, It's very interesting indeed. I think we build another Golan over here to increase our space slots. That is very interesting. Can we see exactly what the secondary space station is? That's a Golan 2 compared to a 1. Alright. I might try and double tax that. If the influence falls below 4 there, it's currently standing at 5. We'll see about that. We'll get that and try and remember to come back to that. Sif Crook as well is going to be a buffer planet as well. So the focus there is actually going to be to come over here and build a garrison. What do we want to build on Suric? Well, actually that's a capital tier. Ooh, we see some rumblings of Generis. Okay, we're not going to conquer Corvus for now because that's going to be an Imperial buffer. They can take any attacks for us and we can measure that later on, as well as Fida. Okay, so that's a plan there to deal with the Pentastar at the moment. We want to build, like I said, a garrison here. So planetary shield generator, a couple of these, a couple of ULAVs. Will be just good there. So we also want to create some... we want to create some extra ships, do we? Pretty much, yeah, I want to create a couple more frigate options, actually. So, we're a little limited at the moment. And you know what, victories do the job. 1 galleon, misclick there, 1 galleon, and dragons are very nice, We are lacking in missiles. We have a lot of lasers and ion cannons, so we'll get 1 dragon out there for now. And that can join us for our attack on Mirka, to then, of course, open the way to Wayland.
Watch him, he's coming around. Target locked. Get behind him. Excellent shot. Eliminating target.
Well, after a victory at Mirka, we did see, of course, the orbital space in Mirka, we did see that the Pentastar alignment had actually taken the planets of Corvus Minor 4, which was bordering Suric, and that was going to be our telltale that they're moving towards us. We're going to do a very minor raid across the orbital space over here. This will only be of the orbital space over here, because that's all we really need to scout out at the moment. So we really need to hurt. So we'll just bring in our corvettes and minor frigates. We'll heel tank over here, bring in some lancers, like so. Bring in another galleon in that area, and that will do. Lovely. Just make a little bit of a minor wolf pack on that sort of side. That's what the idea is anyway. Bringing some surveys over here, lovely. Don't just bring in everything, we'll get rid of that precursor set very easily indeed. Bring our Imperials over to really focus that precursor. This is very damage focused with a lot of heavy triple turbo lasers, some assault concussion missiles. Absolutely nasty this is. You can find a lot of success in your Pentastar alignment campaigns by using these in conjunction with Venuses. Let's bring our fighters in front, speaking of which, to focus the Howl Runners, as they're called. I forget. The enemy is going to retreat, that's absolutely fine, saves me a job. We're going to try and focus their engines then as we deal with the enemy's shields. Very quickly there, lovely. Don't think we'll have time for that, no we don't, so that's absolutely fine. It does push the enemy fleet back a tad. Just warns them not to deal with us too much there as we see that Golan go down. We can watch the enemy defensive shield icons increase, and that will give us an idea over here of what we need to look out for. So we're going to come back to Salagis, and I think actually rather than go for Mirka, which would be quite a nice neutral buffer against Mindor over here, we're actually going to go for Ordo, and then that hems in Mandalore. And getting those two planets early on should be very nice. We're going to go instantly for Order over here as we once again pick up our ground units. And that'd be great. We do have some SPATs and infantry being built as well. We do see a Kel Derby in the orbit there. And in fact we see a few Kel Derbys. So what we're going to do is cancel that. Launch in with our Imperials and a few of these bolts to get some bombers in. The Quasar here will be excellent for fighters and bombers. Look at how our formation's looking. Yeah, certainly bring up some of these Nebulons. Bring in some hill tanking as well. I'll do that for now. This is an excellent carrier, so bring this in. Let the Keldarbis, 3 of them move in there. Very, very horrible mainline battleships there, actually. I don't know how they fare 1v1 against an Imperial. They do have more hit points. It's an interesting one that I don't want to test in this current situation, to be honest. Let's take our bombers and go for one here that's away from any point defense, shall we? Just even just to soften up the shields there. Gonna wait for them to pull in, and then we're gonna flank once again with our victories. Should be very nice indeed. We're mismicroing over here. Quite a bit actually. Let's get our raptors into the enemy comics actually, the gunships. So it looks like we'll be able to deal with the Y-wings there with our Nebulon as such. Nebulon, no more shields, we're gonna lose that then. Yeah, there you go. You can only heal tank so much. And that might be the case actually with that Star Destroyer, you know. So the shields are down over here on the leftmost. Okay. Let's focus this particular one while we can. And before they overwhelm us, we're going to pause and just come in. Bit of a flank, bit of a distance. Lovely stuff. Bring Zsinj to the flank so we do get that lovely, lovely command. Bring in some Lancers and some Nebulons, of course some tiny bit of hill tanking. And I love these for their light proton torpedoes actually. Tiny wolf pack here. All they can do once they come in, provide their fighters, immediately go and focus fire here onto mass drivers, concussions. Lovely. Mass drivers actually do particularly well against unshielded units. Get that, and then get the octuple turbo lasers. So much damage in those things. These Keldarbis are absolutely nasty. As you can see against this, oh no, you're gonna lose an IST. That's not great. That's not great. Really not great at all. We do destroy Keldarbi, but what price? At what price? we're at 14,000 at the moment. We can replace that ISD, but it's not. It's really not ideal, you know. Really not ideal at this stage of the game. Maybe we should have just come in as a full group, but it's nice to sometimes try and think a little smarter. That's okay. That's okay. What we need to do really to help ourselves out is micro our bombs a little more. We're going to go for this governor to start with. Get our raptors on to... Actually, the enemy's not got a lot of resistance there. Let's go for the skip ray blast boats. Get our corvettes and such onto these gunboats. And they'll rip through very easily indeed. And that's absolutely fine. So that's the main enemy battle line dealt with. A bit of a shame to say goodbye to that ISD. It is a bit of a costly loss there. We can recoup that at our current income. It just takes time to rebuild is all. It just takes a bit of time, and it's money we don't need to spend at the moment. I'd rather spend the money, of course, on infrastructure and factories and real ground units to make a difference in these battles. Because, of course, space battles are only one aspect of taking a planet, and you know, if you're particularly good at the game, these space battles aren't the ones that matter so much.
Stay in formation. I'm on them. Under control. Coming back around for another run.
We actually lost a Nebulon B there, so you know, thoughts and prayers with the Nebulon B. No, we'll replace that Star Destroyer because it is centerpiece of our fleet at the moment. Are we feeling comfortable with this? I might want to bring in a few more pieces of infantry. I think we do have that somewhere close. Was it Yavin we built those? Yeah, it was Yavin. I'll bring that in from Yavin. Often see me use overkill in terms of numbers with ground invasions, but I swear it's more of a case of just having assets. Be comfortable to use for any situation, of course. Let's go in now to take order, and we might think that that is in fact it for today, guys. It's actually quite an open map here as well, very straightforward, so it does provide you with a good couple options actually. Do we go for the one-time credit bonus over here for the central 3-cap point, or do we go for the southern 3-cap points for the infantry healing? Well, I mean, I'm a man of compromise and I like to go for both. So we're going to instantly drop in with some of these dropships who build over here, and I like the new animations for dropships. You'll notice that with a private CIS playthrough as well. Let's just drop over here. Just a couple units will be fine. Lovely stuff. Capture the command post. A couple units here just to capture these build pads will be excellent. And I should just take one over for the one-time credit bonus of the mining facility. We have secured the landing zone. And we'll go and support our raptors and such over to the south. Lovely. Repair station and anti-infantry turret. Lovely. Easy game. Actually, what we'll do is we'll drop over here for the infantry healing with one unit. Oh, we'll just deal with that. What we've got, some standard infantry. We have some Mandalorians because, of course, this is a Mandalorian clan hell planet. Oh dear. Oh dearie dear. We've got some rockets coming in. Let's pull back. Let's pull back. And we'll get... Pull back. Bring in some raptors. Ulav. Let's get... I'll tell you what. These PXs are excellent against infantry. Not that our dropships can't do the job. You know what? Those PXs are amazing as well. Let's deal with that Espo, or the military walker, and deal with those bloody concussion spitting units there. And there we go. I'm loving these new sound effects actually. Absolutely serene and beautiful. Let's get support base here. Did we capture this? No, we didn't. It's absolutely fine. Yeah, these work wonders against infantry and heroes on the ground, so long as you can micro them to actually get use out of their self-repair. But in conjunction with the dropships, absolutely ripping apart infantry. We'll drop this infantry here. Let's find some space. Pick up the command posts. We'll get infantry and that, and we'll drop in here. Lovely. Love to see it. We'll drop over. We're actually getting some heals over here. It'll be faster from the true base here. Lovely stuff. And then what we can do is move in with these and these. Lovely. Just group these together and we shall take the area. We'll take the planet. There we go, very easy over order there. Easy victory indeed. Let's make sure we build up correctly here. And we're going to drop our... let's see, because we do want a decent garrison over here. Rather something a little heavier. We want some SPMATs over there, I think we do. We get 2 SPMATs. Like so, and we get some AA as well over here. Otherwise, I think that would be fine for Sith Crick. Lovely. And we'll just drop these on Taurus for the rest of it. That's absolutely fine. Did we create... Yeah, we did create a pirate base over the Ferrier Junction. We're... Let's... We do get some pilot heroes, some ace pilots. This one can go with Terranor Screed. Okay, I forget the man's name over here at Poir Tigre. Well, he's with Screed anyway. That's absolutely fine. What about this young man? He can go with Zsinj himself. Interesting. We'll employ him soon, but I want a top tier pirate commander. We'll come back over to Dathomir to replace the Imperial Star Destroyer loss, and then I think we start heading for Ribester to free Embrus Zealots. Well, while we were building up our forces, the Imperial Remnant decided to take Salagas, which, while we said as a buffer, we're not simply going to let them keep it for the long term. We do see 3 Imperial class Star Destroyers here, so that would be a very nice pickup for us. We have replaced our lost Imperial Star Destroyer. Going to pull a little bit far back to begin with. You know, we're going to do the same tactic. Let's take these away for the minute. We'll pull back Zsinj for that command to start with. Let's bring in the Quasar here as well for some fighters. Hold. Bring in some Nebulons to soak up some missiles and torpedoes and such. Heal tank where we can with that. And then we bring in, of course, the flanking victories. A Thrawn tactic, of course. It flanks so nicely. I'll just make that rather large itself. Lovely. Okay, let's get these guys onto here. And we'll focus this one over here. Immediately boost our firepower. We've already ripped apart the shields over here. If we just focus the hard points a little better, we'll do very nicely indeed. Ripping apart the shields over here with our massive amounts of iron cannons, but we do need to bring out our fighters over here because we do see enemy bombers coming in here. We're going to lose that Nebulon. Not a problem, Nebulons are actually fairly cheap. Lovely. Okay, let's at least get these victories onto particular hard points here. Go for the turbo lasers is not a problem. Ripping apart the Star Destroyer as well as this one over here. Do you see a KDY? KDY is not the worst of threats. Already, yeah, we'll just not go about this the right way. To deal with losses, not a problem. Let's get some heal tank in. We get our bombers on a little better. We need to just focus shields now, you know? Not shields, engines. Come on, if we can focus that properly. Can't even see the bloody things. You know what? They've lost it. Excellent stuff. That's good news for me. Means they've lost 3 Imperial Star Destroyers there. We do retake Salus. So, oh no! No. We lost our Quasar hero. I completely missed that. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all because he's an excellent fighter hero there. Excellent fighter hero, but we do of course get Type of Sand and Zan Consortium available to unlock. Oh, enemy fleet approaching. Let's have a look. It's like for Salus. We don't get any further. Yeah, we don't get any further notifications about that, so that's interesting. But that will be for the next video, guys. So a very rocky start, actually. Not going as well as the previous series so far, but it has been a little bit spiced, doesn't it? So that's absolutely brilliant. We do like a bit of spice to our campaigns, otherwise it'd be just far too easy. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. Next time we'll be going for Mandalore and I think Rivester and Centauri to get our extra hero from there. Those will be some excellent money-making planets as well as factory planets for us. Everything you want all at once. We did of course grab Wayland on the sly just a second ago because you can't go wrong with grabbing Wayland. We also now have the Happies on our back with Mirka. I think we opened the way for them. So problems are right everywhere, and that is exactly how we like it. So thank you once again very much for watching. Nice to see you. I shall see you in the future. May all of your nights and days be auspicious. Goodbye.